Can you describe your initial feelings and expectations before you started your very first paddleboarding session?
My first and initial feelings before the paddleboarding session were excitement and confidence, as I've done paddleboarding a lot before.
What was the paddleboarding location like? Can you walk me through some of the key moments or challenges you encountered during the activity?
One of the challenges I encountered during the activity was when we had to stand up and spin, as I found getting the balance was a bit difficult, but once I'd worked that out, it was quite good. I also quite liked the nature around the river we went down, as I found that just being by the nature made it a more calm experience. And there was a nice little house along the river, which looked really nice.
What surprised you the most about paddleboarding?
What surprised me the most was how, easy it was, because most people were falling in, but I found myself not falling in not that much.
Thinking about your paddleboarding session, what were some of the most positive aspects or benefits you experienced?
One of the most positive aspects that I experienced was that we kind of came together as a group, and we were laughing when everyone was falling in and encouraging each other.
Did you notice any physical benefits like improved stamina or balance?
I definitely noticed that my balance improved as we went through the activities that we were doing, as when we were first sitting down spinning, I found it quite difficult, but I think it helped me a bit when we had to spin standing up.
How did it make you feel mentally or emotionally? Did it help you focus, problem solve, or feel more confident, especially in water?
It definitely made me feel more confident in the water, as due to falling in and climbing back on the board was quite difficult, but throughout the session I found it easier. It also made me feel quite calm, as we were just having fun and not stressing on anything.
Were there any social benefits, like working with others if you're in a pair/group, or feeling a sense of accomplishment?
There were definitely some social benefits, as, like I said before, we definitely came together as a group during the paired work, group work, and the teamwork at the end, where we had to crawl across the boards.
If you had to pick one moment during the paddleboarding session that stands out as particularly beneficial, what would it be and why?
The one moment I would pick would be standing up and spinning, as it definitely improved my confidence on the board and just confidence paddleboarding overall.
Compared to other outdoor activities you might have done, what unique benefits did paddleboarding offer?
It offered balance when doing things in the water, and just a bit more body strength from when you were paddling all the time.
Cool. Before this session, what paddleboarding or water-based activity knowledge did you think you had? What specific skills or techniques did you learn or develop during your time paddleboarding?
Before my paddleboarding session, I think I had some quite good water techniques, as I've previously done paddleboarding and wakeboarding, so I'd like to think that my abilities in the water were quite good.
Can you describe a specific technique you had to learn or improve to effectively enjoy the activity?
A technique I had to learn was spinning in a circle, as I could turn before, but not as effectively as I could after I'd learned to spin properly.
How challenging was it to learn or apply this technique, and what did you do to try and master it?
It was quite challenging to begin with, but once I'd got the hang of the one back paddle, one forward, I believe I'd mastered the technique, and I found myself turning around the corners a lot easier.
Cool. How important do you think this particular skill is for successful and safe paddleboarding?
I think this skill is quite important to have successful and safe paddleboarding, as if you can't turn, you might find yourself crashing into others or into the sides of the river, or potentially pontoons if you're doing it in more of an open water space.
Beyond the physical act of moving through the water, what other skills do you think you developed? consider things like paddle technique, decision making?
I think I definitely improved on my paddle technique, especially as I was constantly switching from on my knees to stood up paddling, which I think was quite beneficial.
How did you use the paddle technique in a specific situation while paddleboarding?
I used my paddle technique when I found myself going towards someone and almost crashed into them, but I managed to save it as I did like a turn, which prevented me from potentially falling in and also them falling in.
Cool. How might these newly developed skills be useful in other areas of your life?
These skills might be useful in other areas of my life due to having more coordination, which means if I were to do other activities, which entails being around other people, I'm less likely to bump into them and stuff like that.
Did you have to adapt to any unexpected situations or challenges while paddleboarding?
I believe I didn't have to adapt that much during any situations, apart from just having to manoeuvre around people.
Cool. How did you respond, and what did you learn about your ability to adapt?
I learned that I found I can adapt quite easily to my environment around me, as I just kept looking around, making sure that I wasn't crashing into anyone, which will help me in other activities outside of paddleboarding.
How did the instructor or paddleboarders themselves help you to develop these skills and techniques?
The instructor was quite useful, as he was giving me loads of tips and tricks during the spinning activity and also the other activities that we did, which I found quite helpful, as it helped me understand what I was doing wrong and how to improve it.
Looking back, what was the most valuable or impactful thing you gained from this first-time paddleboarding experience?
The most valuable thing I gained was learning how to effectively turn and how to effectively paddle quickly and without hitting anyone.
Would you recommend paddleboarding to a friend who has never tried it? Why or why not?
I would definitely recommend it to someone that hasn't done it before, as I found myself really enjoying it and it was loads of fun, especially being surrounded by my friends, which definitely improved the experience. So I would say yes, I would recommend it.
Has this experience changed your perspective on outdoor activities, water confidence, or even teamwork in general?
It's definitely made me want to do more outdoor activities and improve my teamwork, as just being outdoors with my friends is quite fun, and during the teamwork activities it's definitely improved my teamwork.
Are you interested in continuing to paddleboard or try other outdoor activities that involve water confidence / ability after this experience?
I definitely want to paddleboard again, and I'm looking forward to any other outdoor activities that involve water.
What draws you to that?
Just having fun with my friends, to be honest. I wouldn't want to do it if I wasn't going to have fun.